Reese right here with Adore Her Beauty, back with another video. And in this video, I'm going to be performing my very own Hirsutism facial wax session. So I've already started cleansing, and here I am drying the skin to make sure it's so dry to be able to receive the wax product. So you want to start off on clean skin always. So for this video, I'm going to be using Ahbolish wax brand Abrogate hard wax. And so let's get into it. So we have this beautiful golden orange wax. It is so rich. You can look and see how amazingly this wax glides. And so I'm starting on this side first. I think in the last video I started on the other side, but this side was bothering me. Like whenever I would touch between my ear and jawline, I would feel like some real hard hairs. And I was like, this hair got to go. But you can see on the wax strip, it's not that much hair at all. And so I'm doing the sideburn area. And honestly, I like my sideburns because, like, you know, when my locks are freshly retwisted or I'm doing a hairstyle or whatever, I like to have my sideburns. So one thing that I do regret is ever tampering with my sideburns because they weren't as curly like they are now. Like they were really sleek and laid up against the skin. Like I always had like a edge control or some gel or something on them. But ever since I had waxed them or cut them or shaved them or did something to them back in the day, they ain't been right. But I still do like a little sideburn. Like I don't want to be totally, you know, without hair on my face. And also that little area like around the cheek, I don't touch those hairs because again, you know, I have an excess production of androgen, so I'm not going to disrupt hairs that are just like not an absolute bother to me. And so you will see, you know, throughout this video, those hairs go untouched. Well, that is why, because if you have some type of hormonal imbalance, if your body is producing a lot of androgen or, you know, more than the norm, you don't want to disrupt those vellus hairs because then they will become terminal hairs and you will find yourself in a cycle like what you see I'm doing now. So I have to do this quite often, lately more often than normal, because usually I can go about 8 weeks without touching, you know, having the need to do a wax. But lately I've been kind of doing it like every 4 to 6 weeks. So I'm like, it's a little more frequent than normal, or than past times rather. But, you know, once I get to feeling some of those hairs, I'm just like, you know what, they got to go. And again, for me, this is very, very minimal. If you were to see a picture of my skin from way back when, I had hair all over. I mean, countless amounts of hair. So waxing over time has killed off a lot of hair follicles. And that's why I don't have many. And so what I want to do is replay this particular clip because if you hadn't noticed, I'm going back in the opposite direction. This is what I like to call the reverse lay technique. So the purpose of the reverse lay technique is to intentionally lay the wax in the opposite direction of the hair growth to cover those hairs from the back side and then get rid of those hairs. So if you have some stubborn hair that just don't want to give it up, then try to do the reverse lay technique after you've done the original technique. And so it will help get those little pesky stuck behind hairs. So here again, I am getting the other side of the sideburn because, you know, you want stuff to be matching on both sides. And so again, I'm just kind of going in the direction of the growth. Now that's another thing that I want to point out. Based on how you, prior to getting into a wax regimen, got rid of those hairs in past times, it will determine how those hairs grow. So if you were a tweezer, if you were a shaver in a former time and you didn't have a method to the madness, you were just plucking all over or just shaving and just, you know, rolling that blade all over your face, then those hairs are going to grow very sporadic. They're going to grow in very distorted ways because of how they were removed, and then they will regrow back in that method. And so you may find yourself, here I am being silly. I'm sorry. Listen, you're going to find me be silly throughout several parts of this video because there is just something about getting this hair off your face. And I'm going to get back to my last point. But when you're a woman with hirsutism and you know you're not supposed to be having no hirsutism, you know you're not supposed to be having no facial hair, when you start getting that stuff off of you, you start feeling lighter. You start feeling freer. You start feeling more feminine. You start feeling more like you. So you will find me dancing throughout this video. So that's a little disclaimer. Now, as I was saying, based on your former method of removal will determine, with razoring, with any other method than waxing. So then when you're waxing now, that determines how you're going to remove those hairs. So you may not remove them all up and down. You may not remove them all left to right, like over your entire face from ear to ear. It's just left to right or up and down. You may have to do up and down on the left side, left to right on the right side, down the center from chin to neckline. It depends. And here I am again acting silly because your girl was feeling good this day. I was so happy to get that hair on my face. And then another thing too, as you can see, I was definitely in need of an exfoliation, and I have a video that I've already posted that talks about this. With the buildup, I had so much buildup on my skin. I knew it that morning, but seeing it on this camera, I was like, oh my God, how did I let the skin get built up like that? But I do take care of it. So definitely, if you're done watching this video, go watch the other video and see me take care of the issue. So also, I realized while doing this video, I need a nose wax as well. So, of course, that is something that is highly debated online about, doing a nose wax and removing those hairs from your nostrils. The key is you don't remove all the hairs. But when you start getting little fringes all in your nose, and there's like this, like you start getting little things in your nose, but there's actually nothing there. You know what I'm saying? But just little highlights in your nose, that's a key that it's time to go on and wax them. Let me just go ahead and get those few little hairs out the way, and so I'll do that next time. But here I am with the lip, because listen, the lip is terrible. I will not do an application on the lip on myself to perfection. And I think that was actually, and listen. Here I am doing the reverse lay technique on this side because I realized on the other side I was going to have to do a second lay, and we don't want to do second lays on the lip, okay? Because the lip is atrocious. The lip is, oh my gosh, I wish I never had to do the lip. But the reverse lay technique got way more hair than just the original technique, and it just depends on the person because some people's hair will be more freely given up, so here I am again. It's so much commentary that I can add, and I also just want to do an ode to women who have hirsutism, so I will be redoing this video with different commentary. Thank you so much for subscribing. If you have not already, please click that subscribe button. Please share this video to help somebody out there know how to do their own facial wax at home, because it can be, embarrassing to go in public. So see you soon.